I'm Joshua Wilson, and this is my informative speech on the conversion of the Apostle Paul. Now, as he went on his way, he approached Damascus, and suddenly a light from heaven shone around him. And falling to the ground, he heard a voice saying to him, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" And he said, "Who are you, Lord?" And he said, "I am Jesus, whom you are persecuting. But rise and enter the city, and you will be told what you are to do." This is the story of the Apostle Paul's conversion, taken from Acts chapter 9, verses 3 through 6. Through it, we have assurance that God can use whomever he wills, however he wills, and that no person is too sinful for God to redeem. God changes sinful hearts, as demonstrated in Paul's conversion from an enemy of the church to a missionary of the gospel. In preparation for this assignment, I have thoroughly been reading the passages related to Paul's conversion, and I have also read a number of commentaries on the subject. In this speech, I will first discuss Paul's life as an enemy of the church, and second, I will discuss Paul's life after his conversion. During his early life, Paul was an enemy of the church. Spurgeon says of Paul in a sermon that he was a downright, thoroughgoing blasphemer who also caused others to blaspheme. From blasphemy, which is a sin of the lips, Paul proceeded to persecution, which is a sin of the hands. Hating Christ, he hated his people too. This was made evident when those around him were furious at Stephen for his message, and Paul approved of their decision to kill him. After this incident, Paul persecuted the church. This is clear throughout Acts 8 and 9, where we see he entered houses looking for Christians so that he might throw them into prison. He was threatening the disciples, and he also went to the high priest and asked for permission to travel to Damascus and capture believers found there. But on the road to Damascus, he met Jesus and was converted shortly thereafter. After his radical conversion, Paul became a devoted missionary. An article published by Ligonier Ministries on January 12, 2009 about Paul's conversion states that he reminds us that he persecutes the church before meeting Christ because the contrast with his new calling as one of the Savior's greatest ambassadors is powerful evidence that Jesus met and changed Paul on the road to Damascus. Paul traveled to the Gentiles and proclaimed to them the good news of the gospel. He went on multiple missionary journeys, reaching new people each time. On numerous occasions, he has not only faced treacherous circumstances, but risked his life to spread the gospel. Paul also wrote many letters to the churches that eventually became part of the New Testament. In an article titled Paul, an Apostle, edited by James Orr in 1939, it is stated that the Pauline authorship of the 13 epistles reveal in a remarkable way the growth in Paul's apprehension of Christ and Christianity, his adaptation to varied situations, his grasp of world problems, and the eternal values of life. These letters were very specific to each church's needs and addressed their strengths and weaknesses. They were heartfelt and revealed the investment he put into planting these churches and how much he cared for them. In conclusion, I first discussed Paul's life as an enemy of the church. Second, I discussed his life after his conversion. Such transformation as Paul's demonstrates that God changes sinful hearts. Clearly, the conversion of Paul was a supernatural act. Only God could turn a murderer into a missionary. If God was able to save Paul and use him for such great things, what reason do we have to doubt his power to save us too? It is evident from this story that we are powerless to change our own hearts. It is God who does the work. He is all-powerful and uses whomever he wills, however he wills.